Hey guys, welcome to Mud Flood Mystery North. I'm Vincent. I'm going to take you through some pictures today, and I hope you enjoy the little trip we're going to take. This is a picture of the Canadian Bank of Commerce building. It's in Vancouver, BC, British Columbia. The date of this building, I think, turn of the century, or a little bit, like, maybe I should know, but I think it's 1910 or... anyways, a couple things about this building, first off, are just the scale and immensity. Like, you can see these pillars here. These are tiny little pillars from what Joe Hardware's doing. And then you have just the scope. The sheer size of these things and the way they kind of have a slight bulge and bevel, like, I don't know, it's pretty awesome. There's a couple other things I wonder about this picture is, if this was built after this, then how did they manage to excavate what they would have needed to excavate to put this here? If someone put in the time and money to build this and then sold the property next to it to someone who wanted to build this, that seems unlikely to me as well. It seems like this person has enough money and power that they would probably want the whole block to look pretty sweet. But instead we have our attempts at getting close to this, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. Anyways, my take. Maybe it's not your take. A couple other things. Serotonin pointed out a couple of these things, like, what are these? What are these lines? And what are they tied to? And why are they white? It's like, are they whited out because they don't want us to see them? It's like a terrible Photoshop. I don't know. And again, we got tons and tons of power lines. I mean, we have the trolley here. I might be off on the dates. We could always just look it up. Canada Bank of Commerce. Yeah, I'll be honest. I have two computer situations. I have a studio computer. I have a little music studio and recording studio. And then I also have my laptop at home. I do so much of my research at home on the laptop, and I don't always save it to my external hard drive. So when I'm at the studio, I have a totally different set of things I've found and come across than what I have at home. And I do have a lot of names and backgrounds of churches and places. I've been kind of trying to catalog just how many churches they've built in this city in the last 200 years, because it's a lot. It is a lot, like in the hundreds. But just getting all the names and addresses and all that stuff, I know it's important. It's important historic work, I guess, if we believe in history at all anymore. But just seeing them sometimes is enough to be evocative of all kinds of ideas of what they were trying to do and how things work. So anyways, Canada Bank of Commerce history, I guess I should have put in. Images, let's see, there it is. What's the year, guys? What's the year? Yeah, I'm really glad you hit play and decided to come along for a bit of me doing research. I just need to know the answer to this one question. 1909. See, I wasn't too bad. I said 1910. See? Okay, let's get back to what I want to show you here. Okay, so we have the sheer immensity. I mean, these are supposed to be the building blocks, the bricks. They're easily twice the size of a man. Moving on. This is a Toronto hydroelectric power building, so you got to know they kind of know what's going on. Something that really strikes me about the power building is how many columns they have, and they have columns clustered together. And when I see these columns clustered together, it reminds me of AA batteries. Maybe that sounds silly to you, but it reminds me of like copper coiling and like grouping, wires, like how we have braided copper wire. Now, Martin Lead for oh, Martin, you got to remind me how to pronounce your last name, but from Flat Earth British. He does a lot of great work around currents and how they're going to travel, how they can travel through the shapes that the shapes of windows, and a lot of the things that we see here mimic the shape of wiring and how we're trying to have energy travel. So I'm seeing a lot of these pillars that seem to be grouped now, not just as support. Like that window ledge doesn't need pillar support, even to feign that it did need that kind of support. I mean, maybe it's all stone, so you could say, but I mean, couldn't it just be one pillar? Why does it have to be four grouped together? Anyways, just a thought. But I've seen them use this kind of architecture a lot. Now, this is an amazing building in downtown Toronto, one of the first skyscrapers. I love this one. Let me just see if I can get a better... No, it's not really a zoomable one. But let's see if I can remember what this is. I'm terrible with remembering all the names, but this building is one of the first what they call skyscrapers. And this is it being built. So this is actually incredible to me because they do show construction pictures of this old skyscraper being built. And I just got to remember the year. There's a couple of really good shots of it here. Here it is with the blimp. Now, these are some giant heads on King Street. Anyways, these are 16 giant heads up here. I do have an archive of close-ups, and Serotonin does a great video on these heads. But if you can see here, you can just make them out. And this is also like a bank, or like it's a bank building. This is another picture that's been of a place that's really close to where I live. This is actually, if you know Canadian music television, this is the headquarters of City TV. This is Much Music headquarters. It was apparently like a Methodist church materials kind of, a place where they decided what the writings about the religion were going to be, like what the sort of the popular take on the Bible, and what they were promoting as far as values and as far as interpretations of the Bible. And so this building, though, is full of stupas. It has all kinds of I'm hoping that I'll find these, but it has all kinds of symbolism here. Maybe you guys can help me identify what some of the symbols are. Some of them I do know, but anyways, let's just see. Okay, Board of Trade building, Front Street. This is also turn of the century. Again, the pillars. Pillars. The whole thing is just like loaded with pillars, like they were charging it up. And then you have this kind of dome roof. Pillars in a circular thing at the top there. And then to a point. And then we have our flagpole with no flag with a ball at the top. You can almost, for me, I can almost see the energetic pattern that they're like. Now, I think for those of you who have been sort of following this mud flood phenomenon and this prehistory history, I think you know what I'm giving a nod to. But for those of you who haven't maybe gone down the road, I'm just going to, maybe this is sort of your first or your newer experiences with the concept of mud flood. I'm just going to navigate over to some really important videos for me as to like my conviction of how it could have happened, and also just opening my eyes to the physics of our world that I didn't understand. So I'm just gonna turn down this music a little bit and move along to my website. Let's see here. Yeah, it's getting really trippy there. Right? Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, now it's just you and me and the internet. So let's check this out. This is from JohnLevi. What? You don't know who JohnLevi is? Okay. This guy, you got to follow him. He's got great material, mind-blowing stuff every time, well put together. Anyways, that's all I'll say. Credit to JohnLevi. Subscribe. Become one of the 21,000. And I'll just play this for you. This is a Russian video that he's translated and reads over the video itself with, I think, some of his own imagery. But anyways, I'm just going to play the beginning, and then I want to show you guys some common sound resonators, shapes, and you can totally find them in all the architecture. Here's like a synopsis of a bunch of them. But I'm just going to play some of this for you guys, and we'll sit back and I won't play the whole video, obviously, because you should go to John and check out all of his stuff, including this one. But I'm going to play just a little bit that's relevant to what I'm talking about right now.
Welcome, and today I wanted to share a little video on free energy, and not just the basic functions of a free energy machine, but more the deeper workings, more the atmospheric, particular workings of how free energy actually conducts and behaves in nature. And once we understand its natural principle, we can begin to harness it. So this is a video that I found on Flat Earth British Subs channel, and I will leave the link below. The video was originally in Russian with English subtitles. So without further delay, I'll present this video to you. I hope you enjoy. Determining the electromagnetic processes, exactly this sequence forms. Universal laws that define everything in classical physics for our world. But energy inside nanoworlds, it exceeds the nuclear unthinkable number of times, 10 to the 74th power. Rotary motion of the ether elements can be converted into vibrational and further into electricity. Exactly like hidden power of steam converts the motion of a locomotive. You only need to make a locomotive for the nanoworld that will force its elements to vibrate. If we succeed, it means a fundamental new source of energy that creates high-frequency electricity from any point of space.
Like a what? You know? I mean, this is amazing. That's all I'll say.
Conductor of special shapes directs vibrations of ether elements along its surface. That will force its elements to vibrate. It is important to keep this vibration constant. That's why conductors must save energy. Such a conductor is called a resonator. Vibration is saved if lost radiation is less than 0.01. In this film, especially in CGI, everything is possible. But in reality, it's more complex. To achieve resonance required a high accuracy of manufacturing, perfect purity of the materials, distinct knowledge of the matter on subatomic levels, and of course financing for this process. This is the Radio Technical Laboratory. Here we're testing resonating
Okay, I'm going to move it a little bit ahead because I really just wanted to, first of all, point you to that video, and you should watch the whole thing. And then I just wanted to show you quickly as it goes through some of the common shapes of resonators. And I think you guys will find them familiar.
Hypothesis of using energy of nanoworld is confirmed. and therefore makes useless all efforts of humanity for improving usage of wood, coal, oil, ecologically dangerous chemical resonator, the power won't be counterbalanced, and it will bounce off the ether like a fish or snake moving against the environment. This is the
Here we go.
resonator that converts the energy of the nanoworld
Yep.
into electricity.
Almost
All
butterfly.
other working resonators appeared very familiar.
Huh.
Tridents of Neptune, Zeus, Shiva, Perun, and other gods. All of them are symbols of power and energy. Is it an accident? This is the model of the nanoworld with an excess of symmetry.
Okay, so yeah, I just really wanted to show you that. And then it goes into showing how the Star of David and like the swastika and a whole bunch of other things, all other shapes and symbols fit into this resonator category. So thank you, John. That was just such an important video for me. And as soon as I teach myself how to mirror people's videos, I will mirror it properly. Now, here's one that I actually found through another YouTuber, Conspiracy RS, I believe it was. And he had someone send this to him and had played it. So I just want to play this one for you because I think it makes a strong case for, I think it's called liquefaction, or what can happen to Earth given certain, this one is air, but I've been thinking, certain frequencies, if it can vibrate and be pushed in a certain frequency, it turns into a totally different consistency. So I'm just going to play this for you really quick. Of course, there's going to be an ad for you to enjoy as well. I wish I could just shush it up. Okay, sorry about that. We'll try to do this together. Okay, thanks for the naked orange juice. Awesome. Yeah, that mighty good smoothie. Okay.
Filled to the brim with solid sand.
Awesome.
This is one of the coolest things ever. If you take a tub of sand like this and then add air in just the right way, it basically becomes a liquefied soup.
Here. It's probably better to see it like this. Come on.
In science, this is known as a fluidized bed. It's used in industrial applications such as powder coat painting or in grain silos to make sure that the grain flows smoothly to the outlet. With air on, the top surface is nearly frictionless. It's like an air hockey table. And then when you cut off...
Okay, so again, not here to steal someone's thunder. That's an amazing video as well. Check it out. So that I found really, really incredible. And I just want to show you, UAP put this up. I think he said he got it from Martin, but this blew my mind. And I'm sure there's got to be comments where people are saying, this is fake. But I don't know. I hear a bit of sound in the background. It feels real to me. It's blowing me away. So I'm just going to play this for you. What I think looks like. And this is UAP. You definitely got to check out his channel and subscribe to him. Yeah, all these guys, subscribe. And I'm going to just play this.
This blows everything wide open, guys. So these background noises, they're already in the video. I'll link to the original video, but there isn't more, much more to it.
I'm just going to go back for 1 second and pause it. Because I've seen these. Have you guys seen these? some kind of like little outcropping at the end of the peaks on the yeah, like I feel like I've seen these. I've seen them in copper, and they kind of go up and over like this. They kind of do a little curly curve there. Anyways, I just wanted to ask if any of you guys out there have seen those on the ends of buildings, on the little tips of the peaks there. Feeling silly, I can't remember the name of this. What you would call that?
This blows everything wide open, guys. So these background noises, they're already in the video. I'll link to the original video, but it's not, there isn't.
So that was, yeah, I found that to be very amazing. I don't know if you did, but I certainly did. So, back to our little wanderings here. So, yeah. So now we have my ideas with power and of course music. Can't forget the music. Where'd you go? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, see what's going on with me is I can hear the music super loud, but it doesn't come out super loud in your copy of what I'm doing. In my copy of what I'm doing, the music is really loud. Anyways, moving on. Amazing building. Yes, mud flooded out and everything. Okay. So, I think I'm going to take you into my church's folder here. There we go. Toronto churches. Right, so we're going to see a lot of mud flood stuff. Toronto is crazy for mud flood. Look how high up these doors are. What's with the... reminds me of speakers. I don't know if that makes sense. Huge doors, double doors. Okay, I'm remembering not to search. Now this church here is so amazing. It's it is called the Saint something of the Fields. Saint Stephen's of the Fields. That's right. Saint Stephen of the Fields. Now, if you look at it now, it this is the fire station that's right across from it. I want to get into that too. But so again, here we are, St. Stephen's of the Field. This is on College Street in Toronto, near College and Spadina. And it has this like bell tower. And then of course it's got its antenna. And it's got some kind of definitely symmetrical design here. It's not, well, there we go. Nice and clear. So you can see this definitely, that could be resonator if you ask me. And then they just put this arbitrary rooster on it so that we think it's, yeah, it's a Farmer's Almanac kind of dealy. Which, you know, that's what they want us to think about it. But anyways, what I wanted to show you about this place, and then also, and this is right across the street from it, I think it's no mistake. This is the fire hall, but it's got an amazing 4 clock face tower. Got the portholes, got the masonry, got a lot of stuff there. But what I wanted to go back to was St. Stephen's on the in the fields. So St. Stephen's of the Fields. Okay. So I'm going to show you a really early picture of St. Stephen's in the fields. I've seen one here. There we go. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. Sorry, guys. Again, Laptop has a whack of stuff. Okay, this one here. What's this one? Okay. So if you look here, how high do you think these peaks are here? And you see, like, how high up is this? Now, what I'm going to show you is it looks a little more like, let's see. It looks a lot shorter now. There it is now. So, I don't know. I find those two very different. And that's not it. Anyhow, St. Stephen's of the Fields is definitely an interesting church. So, there's a lot of churches in Toronto that seem to have interesting common symbolism. So this one here is at let's see, right, Trinity St. Paul's United Church is what it is now, but it is an impressive place. It's got these humongous windows. It's very mud flooded, like it's got a lot of spots around it that you can see. Sunken windows, and then of course you see it's like well up to these doors. And we got cones up here, lots of cones, and I'm finding cones in a few places. I could even pull up an album that would have just copper cones. There's a lot of churches now here. This is what I wanted. This is what that place with the glowing energy antenna. It had those little things off the ends, and this house is right next to this church, and it looks like it has not this church. It's actually next to a different church, which is funny. And I wonder if that's a part of the energy. Okay, let's see here. Toronto churches. So going back to the idea of like the shapes of things creating energy, I wanted to point out the arrows, the trident here. This is this one church. This same church has this butterfly pattern. And look how this butterfly pattern is slightly different than this butterfly pattern. Almost as if maybe they function differently. They do, like, why not do them the same? Like maybe there's a functionality difference there for the resonators. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. This is that the backside of that one church that we were looking at. Trinity. Okay. I'm going to try to keep us moving here, guys. There's like so many. So this is on Bathurst Street. I think it's a Turkish church now. But still, amazing copper with the resonator crosses at the top. Mud flood all the way up. Like, it would have been much taller in its original build. Like, who plans to do the entrance like that? Who's going to make the patronage, the patrons of the church? Like, how is that a nice feature? That old and young have to climb all these stairs. I said it in a previous video, but I don't, like, wouldn't it be, a ramp at least? Something easy. Anyways, there we go. Anyone tell me what this is all about? 988 and then 1988. Is that like when the congregation or parish or the religion or what? Like, what is 988? And then 1988. Is this a case of this one just being added in? I don't know. Maybe someone could translate that for me. Ukrainian Orthodox Cathedral Millennium of... Well, I don't know if it's always been Ukrainian, but maybe. Okay. Let's see. There's a close-up. I took a few more pictures of this place. There's a close-up of the butterfly on that same church. I'm kind of winging this one. This is all the mud flood evidence in behind that church where the butterflies were. This is the back of that church. Got a pretty good brickwork going on. Extensive enough. There's one of the. This is all in Toronto. This is Harbored and Spadina. This is the back of that church with the butterflies. Total mud flood door going down. Pretty amazing. Okay, this is a church that's down. I think it's called St. Mary's, but it's down on Bathurst and Queen. And again, we have this sort of pile up of pillars, four pillars, I guess, over there. We have some kind of symmetry, resonators, or maybe just, oh, look, extra pillars here. Added on to the tops there. And all the symmetry is crazy. Like it's mirror image. But it's being done with stone. Even the grates for the air vents are all have symmetrical accents. And over here, a little more pillars, a few more batteries. Like it doesn't, like that door leads nowhere. It's not a, you know, it's not a doorway. Okay, here we go. We got ram, we got a lion. Flower. Some kind of gargoyle fighting somebody, I don't know. And this this star pattern here is pretty wild. It doesn't look Christian to me, I don't know why. I'm sure it is, but or considered so now. But even within this, what do I see? I see pillars. I see pillars here. And that's, yeah. And even these accents here, these could have been pillars here and it's just been re-bricked. Like this could have been a pillar there, right? There and there. It looks rebuilt. It looks like this could have been a pillar that got bricked in. Anyways. More examples of this same kind of architecture, guys. This one. This is a church that's on Broadview. It's Broadview and Danforth, pretty much. It's not on Broadview. It's on the Danforth, sorry. It's probably closer to Coxwell. Let's see. But incredible. Again, the excessive pillars all the way up. Even inside the windows. Okay, this one I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to especially show Martin because it's this is on King Street in Toronto. Trying to remember what, I'm not even sure what building it is. I just pass it on my way to the Y with the kids. But there it is, Fascies. Right there in plain sight. Exactly as pictured in many, many places. And you can totally see it. One in the axe handle thingy on the, and it's with this wheat shaft or whatever this is supposed to be. You know, it's all wrapped up in the energy and the, well, not energy, I would say like the growing. There's like wheat shaft, you know, I don't know. Giving life, I don't know. Life, you know, natural and power, I don't know. Anyways. An incredible building in its own right, this one here. Okay, I want to ask you guys if any you've seen a lot of these things. They almost like they look like they're like meant to be a mirror or glass or some kind of, and they're always convex, right? They're like a rounded bulge, almost like it could reflect, or I don't know, but it's concrete. It can't reflect anything, but they have this roundish thing. I've come across that a few times in just my photographic musings around Toronto. I'm wondering if you guys see that. Anybody know what this is? Anybody recognize what that is? 100F, I guess, is it is the address, yes, but and it's got these 3 rings, but I'm just wondering if any of the symbolism that it creates means anything to anybody, because it just looks a bit ominous or just interesting. Anyways, okay, this is, I do know the name of this one. This is St. Andrew's Church, and it's a very prominent church at Queen and York Street, I think it is. It's just like right smack dab in the middle of everything down there, and it has the rose. I think it's called a rose. When it's above you, it's an oculus, and when it's here, it's a rose. But I passed this thing so many times on the way to the Y, and it just keeps striking me. And this is one of the first places that actually got me thinking, holy shit, pillars are everywhere. And that's when I noticed, first of all, there's a big cog. Like a mechanical cog is the center of this thing. And then from each cog comes a pillar. And the pillar seems to feed out to not the next one, but the second one over. And that does that in kind of a loop. And then somehow loops into this one. So it's almost like I can almost see that as like an energy kind of depiction. And then, of course, you cut it in half. You kind of got the peacock, and then you have like the circular energy. And again, this building is just rife with pillars, man. Like that building goes on and on with its collection of pillars. I don't have a ton of pictures of that one in here, but I mean, if you can look, like this is its tower. And first of all, it has the arrows. I know this building has the arrows, and a lot of little pillars everywhere. A lot of resonating shapes, and a lot of arrows, and these weird bulbous cones. Yeah, interesting similarities. Okay, guys, this building here is like an amazing building, but I didn't really capture it very well in this set of pictures. So, anyways, I may cut this one a little bit short. It is my second try, and some of these pictures I took out of the streetcar as we were going by. But Toronto, Google Map it, come check it out, or look for it in images. It is a interesting place architecturally, and especially given the new spin of mud flood and just all the ways they've lied to us in the past about our history. So yeah, I just wanted to put this out there quick and just mention that for me, the signs of the use and planning for free energy are out there, and they're staring us in the face. And I mean, I was thinking this today. I mean, it's as important for me to consider that it hasn't been that long since we all knew how to do this stuff, rather than, worrying so much about, oh, what's been done to us? Why have we been so wrong? I'm more excited about the idea of we're not that far away from a time where a lot of the problems we're dealing with right now weren't actually a problem, like energy crisis and things like that. Maybe we've just been tricked out of knowing how to do it right, and maybe it's not too far back. Anyways, that's what I feel I'm excited about, and I hope you enjoyed some of these pictures and were able to endure my ramblings. And looking forward to catching up on all your videos. And yeah, thanks a lot. Please subscribe and share. Talk to you soon. Mud Flood Mystery North is out.